Hi everybody. In today's reading lesson, we're going to focus on the last kind of question in TOEFL exam 2026, which is reacting to a social media post. This is what a question would look like. There is a post from social media. As you see it on this computer, it looks like seems to be a social media that allows such a long post to be published. But anyways, usually there are a bunch of paragraphs and each paragraph serves a purpose, and we need to be able to kind of summarize and identify main information. As you see, there are a lot of interesting linking words that might help you identify a lot of information, but let's take a look at the questions and then we'll talk about how to approach this part. Just like the notice part, this is from that second category of questions, which were about read in a daily life question. If we had it on our previous lesson that we talked about it. But this one is a bit longer and there will be more questions associated with that. As you see, the questions again are multiple choices. Here I have 3 questions that can be answered. So what you do is pretty much the same thing with a slight difference. Remember, this post is a bit longer than the notice and it needs more attention. So again, I recommend that you read these paragraphs one by one, summarize them for yourself, take notes somewhere like a gist or summary, a main idea. This will really help you focus in the focus when you want to answer the question, so you don't have to read the post again and again and again. Sometimes reading again and again and again will just confuse you further, so make sure we avoid that. Read the post part by part, create a small summary of notes for each part, and then approach the questions. Remember, questions are WH questions, so what, why, how, and things like that. They want to know the purpose, they want to know the function, the reason behind something mentioned in the post. And as you see, the options, I'm going to zoom in a bit further. The options have got 2 parts. One part is like one section of the questions looks like this: to explain, to describe, to compare, to offer. So based on the language that you use in the post, you can already figure out that the text is either explaining something or offering something. So what you need to do is to take a look at this part of the test. So what you need to do is to look at this part of the options and make a choice before you read the rest. This is going to really help you. Let's go to the question one more time, which is more important. It says, what is the main purpose of the post? The post that we just read. All right. So based on your notes and your understanding, was it explaining something? Was it describing something? Or was it comparing? Or was it just offering some advice on something? I'm not going to answer the questions, but I will share the answers in the description so you can check it out later. But if you take a closer look, it's important that you pay attention to this first half of the question first. It will really increase your focus. And if when you do that, you already have a clear idea that some of them may not be the answer. All right. And then you read the second half of the question and make your best choice. Remember, we are looking for the best answer. Don't look for the only answer, look for the best answer. We do the same thing here as well. So once again, we read the post, we try to summarize each paragraph, we come to the questions. Here the questions are very general, they do not carry any important message, but options do. So you read the options, you first take a look at the first part of the options, which really shows what's behind it, and then you can cross some of them out, especially if you're not sure. Again, I'm doing this as an example, answers are in the description. And then you read the second half of the question to make your best choice.